Okay, this is the explanation for problem 3, because I don't think the sound recorded. Let me double check that it's problem 3. Yes, okay. All right, so problem 3 is basically the same as problem 2, except in problem 2 they used the simple equity method, and in problem 3 we used the sophisticated equity method. So all the stuff at the top is the same. Value analysis is the same, and the determination and distribution of excess is all the same as problem number 2. Okay? All right, and that was part 1, was to do that stuff, and it was all the same. So you could really just copy it over if you wanted to. All right, then part 2, since we used the sophisticated equity method, they wanted us to do the journal entries to record the parent's share of net income from the sub. I don't know what just happened there. Okay, so they showed us, and let me, I guess, pull up the question. This is number 3. All right, so here was their net income and dividends for the 2 years. All right, so the sub had 60,000 in net income in 2015. So we get the 60,000 minus the 3,000 in depreciation and minus the 10,000 excess, and then times, do we only own 80%? What do we own? I don't know. 80%. So this is going to be times 0.8. Right? Let me double check it. 60 is 3,000 is 10,000 times 0.8. Yes, that's how we did it. And then in 2016, it's the 90,000, but all you do is subtract out the 3,000 because all the inventory excess is gone. We sold it in 2015. So you don't need to worry about that in 2016. Okay. Then we did the journal entries for the dividends, and that's cash and the investment in the sub. That's no big deal, but there's the journal entries for it. All right, and then part 3, it wants us to figure out the balance that should appear on the worksheet trial balance for the investment in solar and how much the sub income should be. All right, so the original investment at the beginning of 2015 was $320,000. Then we increased it by the income of $37,600, decreased it with the dividend of $16,000, increased with $69,600, decreased with $24,000. So our ending balance is now $387,200. And this was our sub income, the $69,600. So if you go to the worksheet, that's where this $387,200 came from and the $69,600. Okay, so then we had to do the eliminations for 2016, at the end of 2016. So we eliminated the sub income against the investment. Then we reversed the dividends basically, but we did it in dividends declared, the credit side. All right, then common stock paid in excess and retained earnings at 80%. So it was these numbers right here, but at 80%. They're light purple. Are they light purple? No. Maybe a little lighter, but anyway. Okay. Now, in these entries, well, the number here is different. The basic entry is the same as for problem 2, but the number is a little bit different. All right, this one I think is the same as problem 2, but these two are slightly different because they use the sophisticated equity method, and everything had already been accounted for in the income. Okay, when they did the sub income. So it's slightly different. All right, so you still have the building for 30 and the goodwill for 60. All right, but here's where the differences come into play. All right, so it's instead of using the 80-20 up here, like we've been doing for the simple equity, instead of using the 80-20, it's the 80,000 from the D&D minus our share of the 8,000 from the inventory last year and our 2,400 share of depreciation from last year. All right, so that's how we got the 69.6 here. And then the retained earnings of the sub is kind of the same thing. It's the 20,000 from up above in the D&D schedule. And then this 13,000 is the 3,000 of depreciation and the 10,000 of inventory, and they get 20% of that. So it's kind of the same thing up here. I just put it 20% times 13,000. All right, and then we also put the accumulated depreciation in this one. The accumulated depreciation of 3 from last year. And then the adjustment is just for the current year. Depreciation expense and accumulated depreciation. Okay, and then I might have paused it while I filled it out. I don't honestly remember. Anyway, but then I filled out, I did all the eliminations and I added across and everything. So, once again, you'll be careful when you're doing this one. Make sure you put the NCI in the NCI column. Don't forget to carry over the dividends that are left. Okay. Same with the controlling retained earnings. Don't forget to carry over their dividends. And that is it.